I don't think I did that right. All right, what's up, everybody? This is Arch with AA Moto. As you guys saw, I released a video about the new bike that I picked up. I didn't really do any talking in the video, just kind of quick little run through what I was doing. But that is a 2006 Yamaha YZF-R1 that I am trying to sort out to make it a race bike. It was kind of set up-ish already before I got it, but didn't have anything crazy on it. So I'm trying to get it all squared away. The main things that I'm doing to it are like a fuel controller, like Power Commander 5, quick shifter, some delete stuff like emissions delete, like the X-Up, the whatever the emission deletes are for the block offs. I don't really know. I just know how to do it. It's super simple stuff. The block off plates are kind of a pain in the butt, but doing all that stuff, making sure it has a good air filter on there, and that's about it. Other than that, it's not too intrusive at all. Yeah, I need to do some gearing changes and whatnot. It's gonna be the fastest bike that I've ever raced on. My last bike was a 675, as you guys should know if you've been watching. And that was fast. Don't get me wrong, it was definitely fast. But just a different kind of fast. This R1 is gonna be, what is it, I think 50 more horsepower or something like that. So it'll be interesting. Thought about stepping down to a Ninja 400, which I would have done, I just couldn't find one close enough in time. So I decided to bail out on that plan. As you can see, I'm trying to put my wheel back on my Aprilia, which, if you didn't know, my street bike is an Aprilia RSV4. Just trying to make more content. I don't know how long this video is going to last, because this should be a lot easier than it is. But for some reason, it's giving me a lot of problems. It should be pretty straightforward. But yeah, that's the story on R1. I need a new rear shock. I'm thinking about getting a WP. I don't know what that stands for, but I need a rear shock that I can adjust the height. That's on that bottom clevis of the shock. So you got all the hydraulic container and all that bullshit. You got the spring, and then you got the bottom clevis. This one, like most OEM stuff, is fixed clevers, so you can't raise and lower the bike. I only want to raise the bike. I want to lift the tail end up a little bit. That helps a lot with, that helps with everything. That helps with braking. That helps with mid corner and a lot of corner exit. I was having problems with it with the 675. When I finally got the Öhlins TTX GP, because it had the Öhlins TTX on there, but it was just the base Öhlins, which is not great. It looks cool, it's golden, but it's really not a real Öhlins. It's OEM stuff. It didn't have the height adjustment, so I got the Öhlins TTX GP, got it put on, did one track day, immediately stopping into turn 8 at Heartland Park, which, if you know Heartland Park, you know turn 8. I hit my normal braking markers and everything like that, going like 70% of my pace, my usual pace, just to figure out the bike, and immediately like stopping into that corner, which was great because the bike was stopping a lot harder. But it meant I needed to put heavier springs in the front forks. Jesus. But I didn't get a chance to do that. The next race that we were going to was at Blackhawk Farms in, I think, October of last year. If you've been paying attention to the social media stuff and whatnot, I wrecked pretty good there. And turn 2 is a very fast left, like high speed left. It's probably going around 100 to 115, more than likely, I think, based off some videos that I did have. I didn't get any footage of the crash. Unfortunately, I had a GoPro attached to my triple tree, and I didn't press record hard enough, maybe. I'm assuming that's what it was, because it's a brand new camera. But didn't record anything, so that sucks. But I let's backtrack a little bit. It rained in the morning and it was pretty wet. But by the time my race came up, it had dried enough that if you ran rains, you were gonna burn through your rains. If you ran slicks, it was gonna be a little sketchy. You need to stay on the dry line. Sorry, I got a message in, see what that was. I tried to run the dry line. I looked at everybody else's tires that were coming off the track with some pretty reputable guys, pretty credible guys that were running their slicks. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna run my slicks. That was a good choice, but if you've ever been to Blackhawk Farms, you understand that there's a lot of shadows that are on that track, all over the track. You can't get a full grasp of what the track looks like, except maybe on the straight, depending on what time of day it is, because those shadows can kind of obstruct your vision. And it also obstructs the sun from evaporating the freaking rain on the track. I was coming around turn 2, I was in second place. This was the second or third lap? I think it was the second lap. And I was in second place behind John Beldock. I was super excited because he's a really fast guy on a 765. I figured if I can match his pace, because he's got more power than I do, if I can match him and not be more aggressive than him, I could just tuck in behind him and finish the race in second. And I was going to be excited for that because I've never done that on a full bike. I've done second place on a vintage bike before, but I've never done it on a modern bike. So I was going to be super excited about that, but and I probably was celebrating too early because I went around that corner and I guess I wasn't fully on my line maybe or something, but I flipped over. You come into turn 1, hard brake for turn 1, and then you kind of drag it out and then you flip over for turn 2. As I was flipping over for turn 2, got to about like right here, I lost the rear end. Instinctually, you will tap the bars out, trying to correct it. And it's fractions of seconds. You just do it automatically because it's what feels right. Just like when you're in a car and you start drifting to the right, you'll automatically you'll drift into the left. You'll automatically start turning to the right. It's just an instinctual thing to do. I did that. Probably wasn't the best. You got to try to fight that sometimes, because if you can just low side out, it can save you. But I didn't for some reason. I don't know if it was the dirt biker, just bad training, just I had not enough experience. Whatever it was on me for trying to adjust that. And I freaking crashed really hard. It whipped me back straight up and down. Now I'm going straight. And again, if you know anything about Blackhawk, there's not really any good places to crash. There's not. You crash, you're gonna hit curbing, or you're gonna hit a wall, or you're gonna hit trees. And I hit a wall. I hit the Armco wall. I went around the air fence, I guess. There was air fence up to a certain point, and I went past it. I believe in the last video I linked a little clip of my crash zone. I'll throw that in here as well, as I'm BSing about it. But yeah, I got kicked off to the side of the bike, was side saddling it. I did have half a second where I thought, man, I think I could save this, which was stupid, but it was like probably half a second. I thought this would be really cool if I saved it, because I'm only on the side of the bike. I could climb back over, but I was already in the grass. Mind you, it rained in the morning, so it's really slippery, and there's not a lot of runoff, so I'm heading straight to the wall. So I tried to let go of the bike, got bucked over the top of the bike, and then tumbled ass over tea kettle, more somersaulting rather than rolling. So that sucked. But I was somersaulting, saw the wall coming up, and I thought, man, this is gonna be it. Like I'm heading at the wall, still going Mach Jesus. I've trimmed a lot of speed from 115 or whatever it was, 100 to 115 in window. I've cut a lot of speed because I'm tumbling through the grass now without my bike. Thank God I wasn't on my bike anymore. But I thought this is gonna suck because I tumbled. Here's my head. I saw the wall, tumbled one more time, hit it with my legs. And I don't know, I remember seeing the sky in my legs, and it kind of like lawn chaired me on the wall, but I like bounced off probably about 10 feet or so, because I remember having to crawl back to the wall, because the first thought that I had was, I'm gonna get hit by their bikes. Like if you crash on your motorcycle, you crash in an area that is probably, like it has a higher probability of crashing for somebody else too. I'm in second place. There's a lot of fast guys behind me. I'm thinking, man, I could have stirred them up, could have made one panic, or they hit the same slick spot as I do. There's gonna be more bikes coming in the next couple seconds. I need to get to the wall and maybe over the wall. I get to the wall and lift myself up. and my legs hurt, mainly my right, which was really weird. I Charlie horsed the hell out of my like hamstring. I thought I tore it for sure, but it's just Charlie horsed it or something like that. Pulled myself up on the wall, and I said to the guys that were at the fence that was another like 15 yards back, and I was like, hey, is it red flag or yellow flag? And like, it's yellow, or it's red. Red means everybody needs to get to the pit out and go back into the pits. Yellow means you just be cautious in that area and keep on racing it at pace. So if it was yellow, I was gonna flip over that wall. There's a little Armco, you know what I'm talking about, like their little wavy metal wall. I was gonna just go over that and let them continue the race, because the last thing I want to do is be the reason that people are hindered or something like that, or be that dumbass that's like laying in the crash zone when he's probably fine and they could have continued the race. You don't want to be that guy. At least I don't. So they were like, oh no man, it's red flag, don't worry about it. I was like, okay. So I laid back down, thought, man, my leg hurts. I'm like holding on to my thigh the whole time. And I'm like, oh, this hurts. This hurts pretty bad. And I was like, but I'm all right. I'm kind of laughing because I was like, damn it. Now I'm mad because I'm like, fuck, I was in second place. That would have been cool. And I was, you know, I was only on the second lap, so who knows if I would have finished second. I think I would have. I think I had it. Because a lot of guys don't like racing in the rain. You see why now. But I don't usually mind it. I should mind it, and you see why. But I was holding my leg, and then I got back up on the wall, and I said to the guys something along the lines of like, as you can see, I'm not used to being in second place, and I was really excited, and they were all laughing, and I'm laughing. Adrenaline's, you know, dumped. Everything's fine now. Like, I'm not freaking out or anything. And my next question is, how's my bike? And they're all like, dude, don't look. I look to my right, and there's like my brake fluid reservoir, and I was like, shit, this is not supposed to be by itself. And I look back over my left shoulder, and my bike is another 20 yards away, just not looking pretty. So the ambulance had to come out. They tried to stand me up, but I couldn't straighten my right leg. Every time I would straighten it to about here, I would have to like pull it back. And I was like, I think I tore it. And they were like, I started feeling the bottom of it, and I was like, if you tear a ligament or a muscle or anything like that, it usually balls up on one end. I didn't feel anything, so they thought I broke my femur. I was like, no guys, I didn't break my femur. Like, if you break your femur, you're either in shock, like you either passed out in shock or an extreme amount of pain. I'm not passed out, I'm not in shock. I know I'm not in shock. I'm very aware of my surroundings. Yeah, so, and I wasn't in extreme pain. I was just in hurt pretty good pain. Enough to where I'm not gonna force my leg to straighten out in case it's like hanging on by a hair, you know? Didn't want to make it worse. So they load me up on the stretcher, get me in the, or the gurney or whatever it's called. They load me up in the ambulance, and I go back, and my dad records a little clip of me going from the ambulance to the inside their little care unit that they have. And it's funny because they're telling him he can't record. And if you know my dad, he's gonna do what he wants when it comes to his team and their safety. So he was like, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm his father. And they're like, well, you can't come in here. And he's like, well, if I want to, I will. And they're like, no. And I had to call him up. I was like, hey, it's all right, I'm good. I had to apologize to them, and they got it for the most part. At first they were a little grumpy, but they got it, they understand. I was like, it's my dad, so he pretty protective. And I was like, I don't get hurt very often either. So I was like, that poor guy he didn't get to see the track, he just saw the ambulance go out. But luckily I was laughing in the video, and you guys have probably seen it already, but I'll link it in here as well. But yeah, it was a good time. Didn't have to cut my leathers off. I was able to eventually straighten my leg out, and they helped me, and I got my leathers off. And that's another point I want to make. If you are racing out there or going to track days, get an undersuit, a full undersuit, whatever brand. I think I was using like Cortex or something like that. I got several different brands just to test them out. That one worked out pretty well, but it makes it easier to get in and out of your suit. Yeah, that's all really the only reason you need. It's easier to get in and out of your suit. If you're wearing the proper suit, it's gonna fit pretty snug. So wearing those helped a lot. But yeah, I got to complete the rest of that day. It was Sunday. I got to complete the rest of that day watching my buddy's race and looking at my destroyed bike, which I think I already put some videos up there of that. But yeah, that's what happened at Blackhawk. And now I will never go to Blackhawk on a full-size bike again. It's just not worth it. Blackhawk is a really tight course. I'll go there on my Supermoto. We have an FS450. I'll go out there and play around with that because it's fun. Or if I get like a Ninja 400 or something. But on like a 600 or bigger bike, No, those are too fast. I know some guys are gonna be like, oh, it doesn't matter, but like, man, it's just not worth it for me. I'm not like a paid racer. Like I work a normal job. I have like normal hobbies. The gym, like I love going to the gym. I mean, I look like it, but I love going to the gym. And when I had to rehab my knee, it really was like a big toll on my gym going process. Like not really, I don't have like super goals with the gym, but keeps my mind right. So not being able to go to the gym fully really took a number on my mental status, but I was fine. I worked through it. I'm doing good now. Finally getting strength back in my knee, but it sucked. But yeah, that's the story on Blackhawk Farms, and that's the story also on the R1 over here. Kind of a mess right now, but and this is the pretty RSV4. I only got that because it's been a dream bike of mine since it came out, so 2016. There's a video on YouTube actually of a guy riding one through like this cool twisty road area somewhere in like woods. It's in another country, I'm sure. And he's got an SC Project exhaust on it, and it sounds so good that I watched that video. I think I was in Cairo, Egypt, and I was on post and I was watching that video. Yeah, sorry, Gunny, I was watching videos on post, but I was still vigilant. But yeah, I watched that video and it sounded so good, ripping through the woods, and then he does like a flyby pass, and it just sounds so good with the quick shifter and everything. And I told myself that day, one day I will get one of those bikes. And now I have it. And I love it. I might take it to a track, just like a track day, just for fun. I shouldn't, because I don't have any self-control, and I really don't want to wreck this thing. But I might, just for fun, just to see what it's capable of and how it feels. It's the RR. It's not the factory, which is fine. I just don't have that kind of money, you know, for a factory. But yeah, I just got it because it sounds cool. It looks cool. It's kind of unique. There's not a ton in this area. Got it to go to bars and places and park it and look at it. And then when people say, but that's a cool bike, and I go, yes, that's the only reason I got it. Thank you. And that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching.